That's the one they want to get to last. The issue here will be Lanier is actually they're in rotation 3. They lined up differently when they were standing around out there. Now they're in 3. That's going to give them one different look.
So here we go, underway. First serve is passed well by Lanier. And out of the middle, Jasmine Gross.
And that's something USC would love to do, would be able to try to get the middle going early and open up those pin hitters. I mean, that's the standard procedure for most teams. But one thing we're going to see is we're going to see Khalil Lanier matched up against Adriana Fitzmaurice a couple of times, and then Plummer possibly another time. So she's going to be working for her kills tonight.
That serve goes out, and that was the big matchup that Kevin Hambley said, Fitzmaurice against Khalil Lanier.
Right, and that's, SC started one rotation different, so it might change things a tad, but they're still looking at something similar to what they planned on.
Well, here's the two-time reigning National Player of the Year, Catherine Plummer. Off the slide, Jasmine Gross. Now, that's a shot she didn't have at Pepperdine, but developed it when she transferred to USC with Brent Crouch, and she's been hitting the slide very effectively.
Yeah, if you can get hitters to do it properly, it's dangerous if you don't do it properly. For one thing, you've got to land on 2 feet. You've got to try to land on 2 feet. A lot of knee injuries have occurred with a lot of the slide hitters that don't land on balance.
Khalil Lanier serving. Pretty good server, has more than 20 aces this season. Ollie Campbell out of the middle for the Cardinals.
Lothrow got stuck on her knees there and couldn't make a reaction to the play. Actually, that wasn't Lothrow. That was the back row sub for USC.
There's Morgan Hentz wearing the off-colored jersey. Back set to Gross. McClure over a triple, gets tipped up. Free ball for the Card. Fitzmaurice over the double, and Lanier couldn't pass it.
Well, USC blocked on McClure with 3 blockers, which makes transition difficult. And then what they ended up with was heading Lanier out of the back row. But after Lothrow set the ball, she ran into Lanier, which pretty much fouled any attempt at transition for SC.
For the Cardinal with the early lead, Kaylin O's. She'll be a key tonight. She was huge in the first 2 sets. Then later, they found out that she actually had a concussion in the 3rd set, and that kind of dialed her back a little bit.
That'll slow you down. They didn't know until afterwards, but evidently she was injured during the match. She is a huge key, though, Kevin. You're right.
Back set.
Oh, that's a great set. Not only was that a great save by Jenna Gray to keep that ball out of the net, and she went up there without netting, but she set that thing with pace to the back row. The left side blocker Lanier had no chance on that one. Or that was O's, excuse me. These red numbers on black jerseys here.
Tough for a broadcast.
Yeah, broadcaster's nightmare.
Here's O's, tipping it over the double.
Gave it away a little early.
Off the slide. The dig from Khalil Lanier. Around the double block, Kaylin O's with her 2nd kill.
Nice transition there by O's. Good dig for Lanier, but O's got off the net quickly and was able to really crank that thing cross court. Morgan Hentz got caught kind of moving into the middle of the court a little bit.
So Lothrow will serve. This is what they consider their toughest rotation, rotation 1. Throw 21 aces, 3rd on the team. Good pass by Hentz. From the back row, Plummer smashing it.
That was a heater. She got some plenty of contact on that one.
You can hear the big thud.
Yeah, there is a considerable thud.
So McClure serving. Tough knuckler there. Through a triple block and dug out by Hentz. O's blocked by Madeline Gates.
And that's what Madeline Gates probably does that as well as any middle blocker in the country. When you're just sending a ball over and it looks like a broken play, like right here they just thought, well, I'll just send it over. Gates is always there waiting. She's really good at that.
Leads the team with 1.35 blocks per set. Very offensive middle as well. More than 2.3 kills per set as that serve goes long. So checking in to serve, Jenna Adams, the senior from nearby San Mateo, about 20, 25 minutes away from the Stanford campus. Started off her collegiate career at the Ohio State University.
Yeah, St. Francis High School product.
Off 1 foot, guess who? Madeline Gates. Now, we saw Madeline, we did the Stanford-Arizona State match together, and Gates was fantastic in that one.
Gates had a very strong match and had more attempts than any other hitter on the squad, so they were able to get it to her often, and she produced.
Yeah, that was a 3-set match. I want to say she had more than 30 swings.
Yeah, I think she had 31. That's the number that sticks in my mind. And again, for a middle to get over 10 swings a set, I don't know what we've got, some kind of a challenge. I didn't notice any coach throwing a green card in the air, but
looks like maybe a little bit of blood to wipe up on Plummer's knee. They're taking a look at that right knee of hers.
Yeah,
appeared to be anything too serious.
Yeah, I was blocked out by the referee stand. I didn't see her standing over there.
Kevin Hambley talking with his group. He's won a Pac-12 title each of his first 2 years at the helm after coming over from Illinois.
Yeah, this stuff's easy. This coaching stuff at Stanford.
Hey, wait, so John Dunning won the national title in his first year, was it?
Yeah.
With Stanford? So after replacing you, and then in Kevin Hambley's second year, he wins the national title after going to the Final Four his first year.
Yeah, the cupboard hasn't been bare very often here. We've been able to maintain, real strong recruiting and a lot of good players that have come through here.
8 national titles in all since 1992. Let's look at the recent national champions. UCLA defeating Kevin Hambley's Illinois squad in 2011, and Stanford winning 2 of the last 3 years, splitting those titles with Nebraska. A lot of familiar programs.
A lot of familiar faces.
Sydney Wilson, great serve, overpass, and smashed down by Jenna Gray.
Setters love to get those opportunities. Open net, overpass. Just don't mess it up, Jenna. That's all they ask.
She's a pretty good attacking setter.
Yeah, she is a very, very strong net player.
You can see why Sydney Wilson's a serving specialist for this team. And I'm not sure that cleared the net. It's going to be a point for Stanford, whether it was a block or just into the net.
Yeah, the set was tight. She didn't really have much of a chance there. All she could do was try to wipe it as hard as she could off the block and maybe ended up out of bounds, but it didn't.
Yeah, they're going to say it didn't even touch the block. Better pass that time from them there. Gets it back. And Stanford's going to be able to send it over. Madison Horn out of the middle, the freshman from Munster, Indiana, with the response.
She won't get that many swings for USC. She probably, of the 5 hitters out there around Lothrow, Horan's probably going to be the one with the least amount of attempts. But if she can produce and give them something offensively, that's going to really help for USC.
She was a top 10 recruit nationally, but you're right, Don, just under a kill per set. Won't get a lot of swings as the libero Reagan LeGrand sends it away. Off the slide, Campbell gets the kill.
Slide ball can be so difficult to block. Blockers are drifting. Close. You got to make sure you take care of it.
Good pass there. Out of the middle, Jasmine Gross able to terminate and get a side out for USC.
That's the first time we've made it all the way through the rotations, and so you can tell by looking at the score, USC hasn't scored very many points with their serve. They've just rotated 7 times.
They don't have a single point on serve.
Right.
There's a point on serve.
Well, that was a good serve. I mean, the serve got Stanford out of system, but I thought that Fitzmaurice took a good swing. She didn't just, try to just keep it in play. She tried to put a little mustard on that one. Good block by Lothro, who I think we've got two of the better blocking setters in the conference here tonight, with Lothro and Gray.
Yeah, Lothro close to 9/10 of a block per set. There's another block. This time it's Jasmine Gross alongside Khalil Lanier.
Good job of working outside, working to get out there by Gross. As this is a tough rotation to defend. You've got a lot of hitters involved, and Gross kept fighting to get out there, and Plummer probably took it a little too sharp cross court.
Vesco leads the team with 25 aces. Passed by Hentz. Fitzmore sent back. Plummer this time. Gets the kill.
That was over the top.
That was over the top of the block. Catherine Plummer was a serving specialist against Arizona State in her first match back, and then just had one attacking error against Arizona, hit 636 with 15 kills.
Yeah, nice way to come back. You know, I'm sure she'd been working out in practice, and it wasn't like they just went out there cold turkey, but that's a pretty good way to start it out.
Rose powering it through the double block.
Both teams passing pretty well. USC, again, has just given away a few. Stanford's gotten a couple blocks, and there have been a couple of mistakes on the USC side. But as far as being able to run their offense, both teams have been able to get things going offensively a little bit.
And that was the key for Stanford in sets 3 through 5 against USC. Even the end of set 2, they started to pass a lot better. The pick for Lanier, and she is blocked. And Kevin Hambley said, we're going to triple block the Bick with Lanier, and they do it right there.
That's a good call by you, Kevin. You know, that's the first time they've set her out of that position, and you got a taste of what Stanford's game plan is right away with 3 blockers.
Overpass. Back row Plummer, it lands in.
Well, you had 3 blockers for USC there too, but Plummer's got some range. Lothro not quite as intimidating as some of the other blockers out there, but you can see she's ready to roll for full tilt, 6 rotations.
She's got 3 kills. O's getting her 3rd kill right there.
If she can get some confidence early, O's can be dangerous out there. She really can get going.
Against Stanford last time they played, end of October. Serve goes along, and that'll take us to our first media timeout. 15-11, Stanford ahead in the first set against USC here on.
They are in the standings, so you know statistics aren't necessarily always the most accurate indicator of how a team's doing, but in this case, they're pretty accurate.
To your point, Don, USC is 4th in hitting percentage and blocks per set, and there's an ace out of the media timeout.
Well, a hitter needs to be a receiver before they can be a hitter. In that case, O's was backpedaling out of the play, and that with that ball getting that close to the tape, she's got to kind of hang in there a little bit longer than she did.
It's Kate Formico, a junior from Saratoga. Here's O's. And missing that one.
Just like most freshmen, you're gonna have your moments, and then you're gonna be ups and downs.
O's missed some time earlier this year with a concussion she got against Stanford. McClure, good blocking coverage there by the Cardinal. Over onto the dump from Lothero.
Yeah, she'll use it, that's for sure. She's always aware of the openings over there. And if they can't set their middles as often, or especially with Oren up there, she can use that for 2 rotations.
USC has been so banged up this year. Lothero is the only Trojan to play in every set this season. She serves. McClure. McClure again. Overdig. Gates terminates for Stanford.
High hard off the top is always a good shot. And it was nice that McClure got a couple swings out there. That last one was a great dig.
Gates with 2 kills and a block now. Just behind the 10-foot line, that service went. Bump set for Plummer. Tipping it down.
3 blockers up.
Back in Maples Pavilion, Stanford up 7 in the first set. Kevin Dan alongside Don Shaw. And Don, this is the rotation that USC does not like to be in, and Stanford is taking advantage.
Right, rotation 1 with your setter in the right back. And normally what most teams do is the person in the right front is the outside hitter that's next to the setter. In this case, it's O's. And then your opposite is over on the left front. And it's not normal for some teams that have a left-handed opposite. It's not fun for them to be hitting left side. And in this case, they usually stack them, all 3 hitters, over to the left side. But now they've changed it. They've moved O's over to the right. You can see her and Lothrow standing up there by the 10-foot line and the sideline. But she's now they're going to run a more traditional rotation 1 to get out of it.
With Emily Baptista coming in, took the swing there, got dug out.
Good communication there by Hintz.
Jenna Gray loves the setter. Dump. And Stanford's at 20.
Well, after Lothrow did it earlier, Gray's going to look for an opportunity. And where she put that one, she put it right smack in the middle between 3 players to kind of give them have them fight over it.
The Cardinal hitting 400 in the first set compared to 182 for USC. Great serve. And Stanford will have another big point scoring opportunity. Off the slide, getting it done is Madeline Gates.
And Gates is capable of hitting that slide down the line. So if you have to honor her attempt down the line, she can spray it all over the court, and it just puts that much more pressure on the defense to be in the right spot.
Would you say she has more range than normal for a slide?
Yeah, if you have the ability to hit line as a slide hitter, then you're always going to have the cross-court abilities, but line is something that just adds that much more to it. And most players don't. Most slide hitters get out beyond the ball and have to reach back across their body to hit the ball, so they're never going to hit it down the line. I'd say 90% of hitters who hit slides hit them either seam or cross court. If you can get a middle hitter to hit line, now you've got yourself a threat out there.
Well, this set has gotten away from USC. Bad pass.
The passing has gone south. Let's see Gates get up and hit. Oh, I wanted to see Gates get set on that one. After going to her knees to pass that ball, I wanted her so bad to get set. I think they're laughing about that. I think Gates was probably telling Jenna Gray, come on, I was up there. I was ready.
Brent Crouch calls timeout. It's 23-12. What are you telling the Trojans if you're Brent here?
Well, it's passing, to be able to pull a 5-set match out against USC.
A large reason for that bad passing is because Megan McClure and Morgan Hintz, their 2 best passers, couldn't practice that week due to injuries.
Yeah, that's tough when there's a great block by Plummer.
Alongside Madeline Gates, the Cardinal doubling up USC, and they're already at set point here in the first.
Yeah, you see Plummer just penetrate right into that seam in the block. If you got somebody that can penetrate that far over, then the middle blocker doesn't have to work nearly as hard to get out there and close it.
High ball for Baptista. For the set, it's Plummer tipping it home.
The jam. I think she learned that one this summer down there in Anaheim with the national team.
25. Jenna Adams will serve to start set number 2.
Yeah, first time through the lineup, the rotation, everything seemed fairly even. Then all of a sudden, Stanford just busted it open.
Plummer, 7 kills.
Look out below, Reagan LeGrand. That thing, and if it doesn't have any topspin on it, that looked more like a knuckler that just came right at her.
Is there anything you can do to keep that ball up?
Well, you try to position your body in a situation where, if it bounces off you, it bounces up into the air.
Gray serving. Kalia Lanier with the kill. And for Kalia, believe it or not, that was her first kill of the match.
I was just going to mention a second ago that, looking at the stats, all of a sudden I realized she had 0 kills. And these are probably the 2 of the elite level outside hitters in the country right here. We should be getting a show. Lanier should heat up here pretty soon.
Fitzmaurice through the double block and down.
with all the damage that Lanier has been doing over the last 3 or 4 weeks, the weakest match she has had was the one at USC against Stanford, where she only hit about 154, even though she ended up with 20 kills, but it's a 5-set match. That's the one blemish in her last probably 2 months.
Gross kept up by Hentz. Now the middle. Lanier now. And she tools the block.
Well, that's what she has to do. In order to have success against Fitzmaurice, she needs to beat her to the spot. The ball needs to get to the spot quickly so that Fitzmaurice doesn't have time to set the block up. You see Fitzmaurice with the right arm just not quite over the net there.
Veska serving. Tapped down by Campbell.
Another good save by Gray on a high tight pass.
Back to Lanier for a second. Don, you mentioned the damage she has been doing. Over her last 4 matches, she is averaging more than 7.1 kills per set.
That's scary numbers. That's unbelievable. And especially when you look at their stats, and if you're preparing for USC, with your block and defense, you're going to really focus in on her. So she's getting that damage done with everybody expecting her to get the ball.
Well long on that swing. She had 40 kills against Utah, 33 against Colorado. That earned her National Player of the Week honors. The 40 kills, the most by a Pac-12 player in the 25-point rally scoring era. Here's Kalia again. Hentz there, doing what she does best. Down the line, McClure finds the floor.
That's a great rally that pretty much tells the story for this Stanford team. I mean, Hentz made a couple of great ups. McClure got the first swing and just kept the ball in play. She went high off the top of the block to just keep the ball going. And then as the rally continued, that's when she got her opening to put that last ball away.
What a serve by Hentz. They just do get it over. Fitzmaurice going line and missing.
That was just a mistake. She was trying to go line. She just kind of mishit that one. But again, the ball control, if Stanford handles the ball halfway well, they've got a lot of options out there, and there are a lot of weapons, and they're starting to get healthy. Again, we've got Plummer back on the court. McClure has been, not practicing a lot, but she's getting out there a little bit more often.
Double block for the Trojans. Gross and O's there that time.
O's with a nice move. O's and Lanier are going to have to pick things up here. They're both hitting negative right now. And for your primary outside hitters to both be hitting negative 111, that does not make for a good finish.
Overpass, and Gross takes advantage. So finally, it seems like USC getting some points on serve.
Right, and again, they need to do it. They need to get Stanford, not just having Stanford side out at a ridiculous rate.
Kevin Hambly is going to challenge this. He thought there was a net touch on USC.
On that swing on the overpass. I saw the net moving, and I wasn't quite sure whether the ball had hit it or not. And what happens sometimes is a hitter goes up on and has to reach back a little bit to hit the ball. Sometimes they'll kick their leg up and catch the bottom of the net. We'll get a good look at it right here. Overpass. Yep. Oh, she just really kicked it. I didn't know she got that much of it. Yeah, that's not going to be too tough a call.
That's a quick reversal right here.
You shouldn't hit any quicker than you did that one right there.
Yep. So, point to Stanford. And Kevin Hambly using the first of his 3 challenges there. Now, Don, I know you'd like to see them be able to keep that challenge, right? If you win a challenge.
Yeah, and that's a case right there where how did anybody miss that when it first happened? That's the thing. There was no call made, and you guys got to wonder, what the heck? What were you looking at?
Kaylin O's this time got off to a decent start. Has struggled since. Lotherow going back to O's. Block lands in.
Jenna Gray and a battling Madeline Gates, working hard to get out there. You watch Gates, number 15 in the middle here. She even had made a little bit of a move to her left. Not sure exactly where the ball was going to go, but she recovered and kept working to get out there.
Good pass from Lanier. Over on two.
Plummer is not happy that she didn't get that. She was waiting for that one.
Lothero with her second dump of the night. Gross service. Off the slide, Gates tapping it over. And into the net goes Gates.
Yeah, it's too bad for Gates. She made a smart move on that. They've got the middle blocker serving, so no libero in the game. And she's serving and playing left back, and that's a great time to tip that slide.
Service there. Stanford will get it back up 2 with McClure serving. Kind of been a transition year for Megan McClure. Had been platooning with Kendall Kipp when Kipp was healthy. Then started going 6 rotations. The joust won by Lothero.
The lower player got that one. She was under Plummer's hands. Be able to snuck it in between Plummer and the net without netting, and that's a pretty good feat because she came close to hitting the net on that one on her way down, but she missed it.
What's the key to be the second person to hit it there?
Sometimes it just kind of depends on leverage and how well you're able to hold in there. That play, like I said, she was just lower. Plummer went a little too high on that one.
Gates. Free ball for the Card. Plummer one-on-one. Tight angle shot works.
Well, that's where the dump that Gray made earlier comes into play. You watch the USC middle blocker here jump with her. So you're leaving Plummer one-on-one out there. That's pretty good odds for the Cardinal.
Just Veska to deal with. Wilson in to serve. O's roofed.
Well, this is rotation 1 for USC. You know, we made it 1 rotation through, even, you know, score fairly even, and now all of a sudden they're stuck here. You see all 3 hitters stacked over there. USC's got all 3 hitters left, so Stanford serves right into the bunch.
O's able to get them out of that rotation.
Yeah, and I'm sure they're breathing a sigh of relief to get out of that one.
So Jenna Adams will come in. This year, 3rd on the team, 2.63 digs per set for Jenna Adams. Plummer.
Give her just enough line, she'll hit it. There wasn't much room, about a ball's width, and that's exactly what she did. You see the blocker here, Veska, didn't quite make it all the way to the antenna.
9 kills for Catherine Plummer now. And missing the 10 matches probably takes her out of the conversation for National Player of the Year, but she did win it the last 2 years.
Campbell got a little help from Plummer. Plummer wanted to go in and hit that. I mean, in most cases, at the higher levels of volleyball, you're not going to see very many free balls sent over. You're going to see a lot of players getting ready to hit and try to attack on everything possible. And Plummer was ready to go up there and take a look at that, but Campbell had already decided she was going to bump that over.
Plummer the pass, gets it back, taps it down.
She's learned in her time during the summer with the national team, you know, about changing up her shots, mixing it up. You know, that's just a more standard tip. She finished the first set with more of a jam, where she went up there and just pushed it through the block before they had a chance to react to it. And that's those are things that I think she's improved in the course of her summertime.
Yeah, when she first got to Stanford, as that lands in, it was all fastball, fastball, fastball.
Well, when you get away with it, you know, why not? But again, eventually you're going to find out that players, they started adapting and they can adjust to the speed of the ball somewhat. And so you need to mix up your shots a little bit more.
Here's Amelia Veska, very tough server. Fitzmaurice dug out by Veska. Here's Lanier, sent right back in her grill.
Well, set was inside and a little bit tight. And so basically all you can see, Lanier comes in and takes off of 1 foot and just swings for the hills. If the blockers had just dropped their hands, somebody up there in the 12th row would have probably gotten one before they knew it.
Here's Hens. Off the slide. Good blocking coverage by Barra, but no one there for the second ball.
Well, and that to me is textbook slide blocking by Megan McClure. She makes a really smart move. She stops and just reaches over inside. You really can't see the angle quite that much from the net cam, but you'd notice if it was from the end zone, you would have seen her just move her hands inside before the hitter ever had a chance to swing.
Good tempo ball there to Khalil Lanier. Now, normally they set a lot of high balls to her, and that's kind of what has gotten her to take off in recent matches, finds the floor there.
Right, yeah. USC's tempo has slowed to somewhat, at least for Lanier especially, because I think she's more comfortable with the higher ball. And as you can see from that last swing, they set it a little bit higher, and she just ripped it right over the block with plenty of juice on it.
That one, Gates out of the middle.
My 2-year-old daughter with her foam finger.
Went on to play at St. Mary's.
For Brent Crouch.
Yeah, he was there. Brent was the head coach of the beach team there as well. For the back row, Lanier, way long.
Well, looking at stats after that last timeout, Lanier and O's still hitting in the negative. USC at 0-64 as a team. Plummer, ridiculous line, 10 kills, 1 error, 13 swings at 692.
Yeah, that tells you the difference right there. And Kaylin O's getting the kill that time. Got a touch off the block.
Yeah, USC has to get those left side hitters going for them to have any kind of a shot here.
Gross. Good pass by Hens. Off the slide, Gates. Over dig. McClure.
Taking advantage of one blocker. Gray not only got one blocker up with her at that time, she got 2 blockers up with her. Watch Jenna Gray handle this one. That's not a good defensive strategy unless you're 90% sure that setter is going to try to dump the ball.
Hey, if you're going to dedicate 2 blockers to a setter, really frees up your options offensively.
McClure with a typical outing. She's not, racking up kills, but she has no errors. And that's the thing. She just keeps the ball in play. When you've got a block and defense as good as Stanford's, you don't need to take careless attempts. And you can just keep the ball in play, and you got a good chance of scoring anyway.
Well, here's this dreaded rotation again for USC with Lotherow serving.
Yeah, McClure let him off the hook in serve-receive in rotation 1 with a missed serve. She was trying to serve it short into the group, but a little bit too short.
Get a point on serve here. USC only getting a point on serve under 20% of the time. That's not going to cut it.
Right, the side out and scoring numbers are not good for USC right now. They're actually point scoring 16.7%.
Gates tapping it over and down.
Stanford, which means in turn, Stanford sighting out at over 80%, 83. So that's a mismatch.
And again, the target number is 67% to side.
As a passing team, yeah. As a serving team, you're shooting for 60 or for 50%. If you can serve at 50%, you score every side out that the other team gets. That's a winning formula.
Service ace there for Sydney Wilson. Timeout, Brent Crouch, as the Cardinal now leading 19-14. We'll take another break. Stanford to be in the low 40s, high 30s to get to the NCAAs. Arizona State with a winning record, RPI 51. Don, I know you think time is wearing thin on the Sun Devils.
Well, the Sun Devils, they were on a 3-match winning streak there at one point, and things were looking really good for them. And then they turned around and lost 4 in a row. and that's really done them in. And I think that's hurt them a lot. They're now at a point where they've got to win matches. They've got a tough remaining schedule too. I think they've got both Washington schools, and then they've got to play the rivalry game at Arizona in Tucson, and they play this USC team. So they've I'd love to provide them some motivation and tell them I don't think they have a chance. And so maybe they can prove me wrong.
I hope Sonia Tomasevic is the DVR in this.
Sonia, I'm doing this for you. I'm doing it for you. I'm not trying to badmouth you at all. I'm just thinking that they're going to have a hard time making it, especially with that RPI where it is.
Wilson serving tough. Came into this program as a walk-on. High ball for O's. Oh, great dig there by Formico. Off the head of O's and out for a Stanford point.
That's a good hustle play. Stanford ended up with a lot of blockers over there on the right side. Formico really been sliding in there. Yeah, she got that one.
The old pancake breakfast.
Got the spatula out there just in time.
Yep.
I don't know why they call it a pancake, because they're actually using a spatula.
Brent Crouch is going to challenge the call in-out here.
Are we sure it's in-out, or might it be up-down? Maybe he's Gray front row in rotation 6, so she's got Campbell and Plummer, and no back row threat out there. Although McClure they could set her at the back row if they needed to.
Fitzmaurice back into the front row.
Stanford block just got a little more sizable, with Gray going to the back row and Fitzmaurice coming in. Got Lanier over there in the left front.
Third on the team blocks, Adriana Fitzmaurice. Setting Madison Horan. Hens will send it over. Lanier. It's Holly Campbell touching it right to Kalia. Nice shot by Kalia Lanier.
Good swing. Well, and that's where, when people talk about Morgan Hansen, the type of defense she plays, she's got a lot of range. She's all over the place. But you see here, she kind of hops into the middle of the court a little bit and has a ball that's going over her shoulder that she thinks might be out. She's a little out of position to make that decision.
Pass away from target. Fitzmaurice off the top of the block. The fans thought that never touched the block.
Well,
lands out anyways.
Yeah, it didn't make it anyway. But you would think with a nice high set like that for her that she would make a much higher contact. I mean, she'd be like we were talking about. It may not have even cleared the net, but she needs to make that swing nice and high and hard, blast it off the hands.
Lanier, 6 errors to just 4 kills. So what have you 18 times? That's the most out of any Trojan. Kaylin O's has been set 17 times, but if your top 2 attackers are both hitting negative, that's going to be an issue.
Right. Yeah, they're just they haven't been able to get on track, and a lot of it has to do with serve receive. They're Stanford, not necessarily a lot of aces, but they're good target servers. They serve to the spots where they're trying to serve just to gum up your offense.
McClure facing a triple.
That's a great high hit from McClure. Bump set from Hens from the middle of the court. Great set, by the way, also. But she sends that thing up there in perfect position, and McClure just takes it high and hard. That's really a nice swing.
Third kill for Megan, hitting 300. It's 235 on the season. Veska hard angle shot missing. She thought it was in. So set point for the Cardinal. And they have dominated this match to this point. Plummer serving. That'll go out.
That one, she just sailed that thing. You could read the label on that ball. It never spun at all.
Set point number 2.
Yeah, they've got a few to waste here, but I doubt if they'll try to do any wasting. They're going to get this thing over with in a hurry here. Lothrow back in the front row.
Off the tape. McClure blocks it back. Megan McClure ending the set. Stanford taking the first 25-12 and the second 25-17. Looking good for the Cardinal as we head to set 3. We'll take a break. All Stanford.
High, and she got her timing off a little bit. She had to double skip in order to try to retime it.
I guess the good news is if you're USC, Stanford was down 2-0 to you, and they came back on you. But there wasn't a whole lot to like about those first 2 sets for the Trojans. When Stanford got behind 2-0 against USC, it was 25-23, 28-26, not 25-12, 25-17.
Right, and it wasn't so lopsided. Yeah, we got a little bit of, got a good dig here from McClure, but she couldn't get out of the way. I think she was hoping to dig that ball closer to the net. Yeah, this thing has been such a dominant performance from a statistical standpoint. There's a nice move right there by Lanier.
Her second block of the match.
As opposed to earlier when she had some line, just enough to hit it. That time, Lanier went out there and shut that line off. See if they go back to her again. Nope.
Fitzmaurice this time. Lanier on the high ball. With the roll shot.
That one should have been Fitzmaurice's ball. She can't expect Morgan Hintz to get everything over there, although sometimes she does.
Lanier still negative, 5 kills, 7 errors. Lanier again. Hintz.
I was hoping for that one. I saw Lanier was going to come sharp cross court. I was going to wonder whether Hintz was going to be there or not.
Lanier powering it through the double that time.
Lanier looks like she's got a look in her eye of, okay, I got nothing to lose here. I'm going to start swinging for it. And that's a good thing for USC.
She's got 6 kills now. Approaching getting out of the negative. Tape service.
Looks like somebody got a piece of the net on that one.
Nothing called.
Again?
Yeah. Plummer off the antenna.
Yeah, I figured Hambly was going to go for the net violation. He's got a couple to choose from, yeah. I think. He's going to have to let him know, I guess, which one.
The second time, I definitely saw it happen.
Yeah, on the whack back. Once the ball was blocked, she kind of whacked it back over the net. I think she got a piece of the net on that one.
The call stands. It'll be a great start for the Trojans. Up 5-1 for now.
This happened in a hurry. Tennis, it doesn't take them long to figure out what happened.
Lanier out of the negative, just blistering that ball through the double block.
Veska hasn't been much of a factor tonight, so she's gotten a couple of blocks in there, at least her hands on some balls that maybe they didn't go down, but she's starting to do a pretty good job of sealing that right side.
Hintz on serve. Overpass. Good coverage by Adams. Off the slide, Gross. Didn't seem like it was timed perfectly, but it works.
Missed it a little bit, but got it into the right spot. I'm starting to see the potential for a great Lanier hammering cross court at Hintz matchup here the rest of this match. I'd love to see more of that.
One of the best hitters in the country against the best libero in the country.
Yeah, and I'm sitting on the perfect angle right here, watching Lanier crank, get ready to crank it cross court.
Lanier's serving. It'll be O's this time. O's again. Back set for Fitzmaurice. And that'll work.
Yeah, if there's one hitter over there for Stanford who's really not having much of a match, it's Fitzmaurice. She hasn't really gotten untracked much this match. Actually, she's in the negatives right now. She's got 3 kills and 4 errors.
Lanier. McClure, the steady Eddie.
Yep. That high top, that high flat one off the top into the deep corner. Can't ever go wrong with that shot, even if the ball's just kept in play.
There's Formico serving, the cousin of Carrie Walsh Jennings. Pretty good volleyball player in the day.
I think I've heard of her.
Also the cousin of Taylor Formico, who played at UCLA and was a volunteer coach at Stanford.
USC starting to hone in on the block, getting a lot of touches right now.
Somehow that one dropped in. Campfire.
Well, the off blocker has a long ways to go to get to that ball. And you can see here Lanier, or actually it's O's, trying to work her way over there. And the line digger needs to come up with that one, I think. But if you know the defense, you know where you want to put the ball when you tip it. And again, even if the other team gets the ball, they're not going to be in great position to transition. There's a lot to be said for knowing the other team's defense ahead of time.
Formico into the net.
USC. Serving USC, number 11, Jasmine Gross.
Gray up to the front row now, so we've got rotation 4. And what you do have now, though, with Plummer playing is back row capability with her back there. In the past few weeks, Stanford's been in that rotation with nothing but defensive specialists in the backcourt, and it's been tough for them to score or get out of that rotation sometimes because they're limited in how many hitters they have on the floor.
McClure with 3 kills in her last 3 swings. Plummer trying to tool the triple block, and she's saying that she got a piece of it.
Yeah, I think Hambly's going to use another one.
Let's see.
Unless they go 5, and that's not what he wants to do.
Yeah. I think he'll be fine with not getting another challenge in this match. Doing the wave here at Maples Pavilion.
I thought that was long gone.
Brought it back just for you, Don. Horan with the kill.
Hence with almost a face plant into the scorer's table.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Nope. And it doesn't matter the situation in the match, up 2-0. Doesn't really matter for her.
There's Lothro, the Pac-12 Freshman of the Year last year. Sophomore from Cordoba, Spain. Good angle on that shot from Gates.
O's with pretty good position, forcing her to really take it down the line or really sharp cross court, and so that's what she did with it. Boy, she really took that one across her body. Now here's row 1 for SC with all their hitters stacked over to this side.
They go to O's. Campbell off 1 foot too long.
Just missed, just long.
Apparently got a piece of the block.
I think we're going to see the challenge now here from Crouch. He may have heard it. That's the only way he could make that call. I don't think that he could make it on the fact that he saw it. But
maybe it got Reagan LeGrand, because it certainly looked like it missed the block completely.
I think he's talking about, he said if he heard something, that's the only reason he may have made that call. No lines person called it. Wasn't anything obvious.
Kevin Hambly 3 for 3 in challenges. Brent Crouch 2 for 2.
And very happy to be out of rotation 1.
So Adams serving now.
Tough serve.
Smashed down by Horan.
And Horan did a nice thing. She did a really smart thing. She did not hit that thing straight away. She hit that thing at a sharp angle away from Jenna Gray. Molly
Campbell with the response.
Seemed like she had a lot of line open, but she still went ahead and hit it cross court.
Stanford server number 1, Jenna Gray.
Used it all. Stanford definitely not passing as well this set as they were in the first two, and you can see it in the score.
Good pass there. Lanier gets the kill.
You could hear that touch. That was pretty obvious, even though she still hit the ball in. But that's like I said, sometimes you just hear that little bit of a touch.
Lanier now hitting positive.
She's got a long ways to go for some of those gaudy numbers.
8 kills. Off the slide. Back setting Fitzmaurice. Veska off the bump set.
Good swing. Fitzmaurice tends to hit cross court most of the time, and I think it catches up to her sometimes. It just seems like I see all this line for her to hit, and she continues to hit seam and cross court. And other teams just gang up in that area. They put defenders over there. There's a line, but that was a slide, more of a slide swing.
Fitzmaurice used to that slide as a middle back in the day. Net violation on USC.
Most likely that was Veska.
Yep, they put up 3 fingers for her jersey number. Yep.
Pretty easy.
Right there.
That is quite the rotation for Stanford with Campbell and Fitzmaurice and Plummer up there.
Plummer serving now. Tight second ball. Fitzmaurice taps it down. Nobody near the 10-foot line.
Boy, that was a really well-timed tip shot by Lanier also. High ball, everybody expecting her to swing away. Passing numbers, they're siding out and serving at much more acceptable and respectable rates. I mean, they're just doing a good job there and keeping Stanford from siding out at the ridiculous 83% that they were siding out the first 2 sets. They're back down to, a more pedestrian number.
But an ace out of the timeout for Catherine Plummer. She's got 12 kills, hitting north of 400 on the match. Out of the middle, Gross. Block pops it up. Bumped to Fitzmaurice. Rejected.
That's USC's best block tandem right there is Gross and Lanier for sure.
For Jasmine Gross, now 6 blocks. Plummer gets it back.
I could have tried to make a play, but I probably would have hurt my arm trying to do that.
Just missed Dawn by a few feet.
I was thinking about it, but I've learned in my old age to not go, just to let it happen.
Near 9 kills. After 0 in the first set, service error.
Well, she scored 2 points out of that rotation with her serve. So there you go. You have a server serving 67% in that rotation. Two scores and 1 miss. So when you think about the service error, it doesn't always mean anything.
Super high ball for Lanier. Off the net. Here's McClure. Keeps it in on the roll shot.
She got a piece on the block on that one as well.
Cranked back by McClure. And Lothero, good effort.
Well, that ball came across inside the antenna. Internationally, you can make that play if the ball goes over there outside the antenna and you play it back outside the antenna. But in NCAA women's volleyball, they have a no pursuit rule. The ball crosses past the center line. Can't play it. But again, typical McClure. Roll shot, keep it in, get a little piece of the block to keep the rally going, and then that's when you unload on the next dance.
18 air-free swings for Megan McClure. Now the middle, Gross. Hentz is there. From the back row, oh my, Catherine Plummer.
That's kind of a sleeping giant type play. We hadn't really seen much of it since the very beginning of the match. And ball's been going back and forth to the pins. And so all of a sudden, throw that one in there.
Bounce town, as they say. Over on 2.
Gray all over it. Almost overran it.
One more time out of the back row. This one missing wide, and USC back in front.
Yeah, I would say Jenna Gray is fairly tuned in to Lothro in her offense.
Lanier serving. Back set Fitzmaurice. Over dig and out.
Just keeps coming cross court. I mean, because when you see Fitzmaurice hit, if you froze it and watch the defense for SC, there's nobody back in this left back area 5 corner. Everyone's cross court, and the line digger's cheating up behind the block.
Kaylin O's beating the block.
She shows you what she's capable of when they get things going in system. A good pass. She's pretty good at hitting that quicker set. They want to put it up there higher for Lanier, but O's likes that left side go set a little bit faster.
O's comes from a Wildcat family. Father playing basketball at Arizona. Mom Laura, an all-region setter at Arizona.
I was coaching against her teams there in Arizona when she was setting.
She had more than 4,000 career assists.
Laura Barch was his name at the time, I believe.
Those from Phoenix.
I don't know if that was pre-Dave Rubio or not. Rubio's kind of the old guy now in the conference. Might have been right before David.
He and Beth Lanier of Utah have been coaching for quite some time at their respective schools. The big for Lanier.
I was wondering when they were going to go to that. They haven't really used it much in watching them play earlier matches. They used it a lot, even in the system.
It got blocked in the first set, and then since then,
kind of gone away from it.
Lothro serving. Gates gets the touch off O's, and it goes down.
And there's the effectiveness of hitting that slide more down the line. Even though it wasn't directly down the line, that thing was into the area 5 corner. Area 5 being the left back when you're facing the net.
Gates, the transfer from UCLA, grad transfer, getting her master's in statistics on the farm. Graduated in 3 years at UCLA. O's again.
Little gap in the block. SC's playing pretty well, but they're only up by 1 here. They've got to hang tough, try to pull this set out, get things going in the other direction. They've definitely picked it up offensively and passed the ball way better. Stanford's still not really getting balls up to the net. A lot of the passes have been around the 10-foot line area, what we would call 2-point passes.
Adams, good serve. Plummer covers herself.
Whoa. I'm surprised Lanier was absolutely able to get to that one.
Yeah. That was quite the recovery by Kalia Lanier to get the kill, and a timeout for Kevin Ham.
That was angular. I don't think she had much choice. She was standing underneath there, kind of facing cross court, but I don't think Jenna Gray actually, or even Formico over there on the right side, believed she could hit it that far into the short court.
Gray the dump.
Could see that one coming. Good pass. Perfect position for her to do it. Defense not quite ganged up in there in the middle. You see the USC defense is pretty spread out back there.
Gray will serve. More than 5,000 assists in her career. 3rd all-time on the farm. coming into this match. She has passed Maddie Bugg for second all-time during the course of this one. It's a Plummer. Plummer, high hands.
That's the high hard one for sure. I think USC had their chance there early when Lanier had a good swing at the ball. Middle back on defense, just a little too shallow there. When you've got a decent-sized block and you've got hitters that are capable of that shot, you've got to get a defender back a little bit deeper in the middle back of the court.
Lanier getting set, going line, and getting it in.
That was close, but Hamley's got no more challenges, so he's not going to be able to question that one. USC needs to finish here.
It's Morris sent back. Good coverage by Hentz.
Yeah, Hentz to the rescue on that one.
Plummer going line.
That ball looked out to me long. I think Brent Crouch just asked Veska if she touched it, and then she told him she did, because he was going to challenge whether the ball was long or not.
He does have one remaining. He'll hold on to it. Into the net.
She was being a little too careful on that one. We saw Kendall Kipp with a quick appearance there for one rotation. In there to block for McClure.
Hadn't played in recent matches, Kendall. Had the 23 kill performance against SC in October. Overpass. Gross has USC at set point.
Well, that's been Stanford's downfall in this set. Is just they just haven't passed the ball very well. Don't know what their statistical analysis would be of it, but I would imagine it's not a very good number.
In the ones?
Possibly. They may be passing under 2. There have been a lot of 2s and quite a few 1s.
Veska for the set.
She's got a tough serve.
Wow.
That ball is
land out.
Way out.
Overdig. Morgan Hentz.
Set her again.
One more time. One more time.
Oh. Well, they tried to bring her in on what they call a rip set. It was an inside set. To
the knee surgery. That took a little longer than expected. She's been back, but obviously still working herself into her all Pac-12 form that she was last year. Conference honorable mention honoree.
Well, the key here is USC serving versus Stanford's passing, because that was a huge difference in that last set. It allowed SC to be a little bit more comfortable with their side-out game.
Jen Adams serving to start the fourth. Swing goes long for Plummer.
Well, USC got off to that 5-1 start in the last set and were able to hang on. See if they can get out quickly this set.
1-1.
Stanford serve number 1, Jenna Gray.
Jenna Gray to serve. Senior from Shawnee, Kansas. Same high school as Adriana Fitzmaurice. Two-time Pac-12 setter of the year. Sends it over. For Lanier. Ruth.
Well, that's what it's all about, is getting her the high ball and knowing that she's going to get it. You see a huge Stanford block out there waiting for her. I mean, they send this thing up plenty high enough, but you see this Stanford block tight, 6 hands. It's going to be tough to deal with. Cross court.
He called it.
Yeah, you can see her facing this way. Hentz couldn't quite get it with the block. They might have been better off not blocking with 3 and just letting that ball come across court to Morgan.
Hey, Kevin Hambley was telling us last week, Morgan would prefer if there was just no blockers and she could cover the whole court. Plummer, wow, going line.
Well, Stanford did the same thing that USC's been doing in rotation one, and they bunched all three hitters. Plummer, instead of being over there on the right side hitting, she was bunched over here to the left, and they were able to still get her the ball. Not a perfect pass, but all they needed was a pass that was good enough to get her the ball.
17 kills for Catherine. Lanier will get it back from Lothero.
There's the line shot. And you can tell there was nobody down there. Adams was kind of in the neighborhood in the middle back, but not exactly. You can see right there.
Good choice from Fitzmore. 6 kills, 4 blocks for her. Back set for Veska.
They've got to get some production out of some other players out there instead of just Lanier. Lanier can only do so much.
Veska, a late find for the Trojans in the recruiting process. They didn't talk to her until May of last year. Coming over from Germany. Brent Krause saying it was like we hit the lotto. And we got Amelia Veska.
That's just another great shot by McClure.
And still no errors for Megan McClure in 21 attacks now, 8 kills.
Stanford serve number 9, Morgan Hicks.
Tapped over.
Inside, that was coming cross court. Again, if she makes that move to the inside, into the middle of the court, just as the ball's about to be hit, sometimes you'll see Morgan Hintz just kind of hop into the middle just to get herself ready to run. But it costs her when the ball goes away from her.
Hence with 17 digs. Lanier 14 kills in her first ace.
The Lesnar had all the looks of a ball that was sailing out of bounds, but once Plummer chose to let it go, it dropped.
McClure.
Be ready. Gates is watching. She's up there at the net. Anytime somebody wants to just send the ball over. That one I don't think made it. Again, Fitzmaurice, she might have gotten a piece. What's the call they're making? Yeah, the ref pointed, the down ref pointed in the wrong direction there. Got me all confused. But that's where Fitzmaurice needs to make contact first before she sends it out of bounds. She just aimed that one out of bounds, and a good blocker will drop their hands quickly.
Good little service run here for Khalil Lanier. Pass off target. There's the first attack error for McClure.
And USC serving, got to give them credit. They've picked it up from the service line in the third set, and now again here. They're serving it tough.
Trojans up 2. Most aces in the Pac-12 by total aces. Played quite a few sets because they've had so many matches go 4 and 5. Just one sweep in Pac-12 play, and Khalil Lanier will continue to serve.
Well, we knew that was coming. Stanford knew that Lanier was going to get that one out of the back row, but they just couldn't quite cover it all. It was a nice shot.
Kevin Hambley O's is blocked.
She tried to take it cross court, and Gates made a really nice move to drop in on that angle with her, especially with her left hand. But the nice move that she made was that she did it with both hands. Really just reached in towards area 6, towards the middle back. Stops
the service run of Khalil Lanier. It was a 5-0 run for USC. Serve goes long for Formico. Here's a closer look at Jasmine Gross. Played against Brent Crouch in the WCC when he was at Portland and she was at Pepperdine. Gates getting the kill, of course. Rose from Portland. Brent Crouch knew her from her parents, who were tennis coaches at Portland. Here's McClure. O's blocked again. Ray and Gates this time.
Yeah, she's not O's I'm talking about. It's not being very deceptive out there. She's kind of, she's facing where she wants to try to hit the ball. She's just trying to take it cross court, and that's just a great middle blocker move by Gates. Experienced middle blocker.
From the back row. Gates off the slide. Good coverage there by LeGrand, the libero. Just get it over on three.
Not sure what Plummer had in mind there, but that was kind of sloppy there. It looked to me like there was a lift underneath the net there by SC somewhere in there, but nobody's going to call it, and there's no challenges. So, and you can't call it lift anyway, a ball handling error like that. Can't challenge it.
Lázaro serving. 7-year member of the Spanish national team. Third in the Pac-12 in assists per set last year. Gates off high hands.
Well, I think USC's defense is just leaving that area alone in that left back part of the court. You see all 6 players in here. No one anywhere near that deep left back corner.
Serving specialist Wilson in. Block gets to that one. Setting Plummer. And Plummer missing.
Just missed. Almost got a piece of the block on that one. Trying a little bit of a crafty little off-speed shot.
Plummer still hitting north of 300.
Yeah, things have definitely evened out here, though, in these last 2 sets. We don't see the dominance that we saw from Stanford in those first 2.
Hasn't been a really offensive 4th set. Both teams under 100. And that serve had Stanford way out of system. Back set for Veska. Good coverage by LeGrand.
Inside.
Plummer. Lanier. Oh, hands the dig.
Good position by Formico there across court. That one might have been out. This is a big swing for Lanier if she gets it. Oh, I'm surprised she didn't get it. There she gets it. I thought for sure that they were going to go out there to end that rally, and instead she tried the middle.
Lanier, 16 kills to match her number, which she wears in honor of her father, Bob, the #1 pick of the 1970 NBA draft. 8-time All-Star. Hall of Famer. Off the block.
Stanford starting to get their transition game going a little bit. And Fitzmaurice definitely has gotten a couple here lately when she was really struggling.
It's Morris off the block.
Stanford starting to get their transition game going a little bit. And Fitzmaurice definitely has gotten a couple here lately when she was really struggling early to put balls away.
7 kills for her now. Just above 0, hitting 38. Out to Lanier. Wow.
Fitzmaurice was late getting out there. I'm surprised she even, was waiting to make her move to get out there. If I was Coach Hambley, I'd be telling Fitzmaurice to just get out there and wait for Lanier. Just go stand in front of her.
Fitzmaurice off 1 foot, tooling the block.
Took it down the line, and that's again, it's hard for that left side blocker to follow the slide and be able to penetrate with the outside hand. Yeah, you can see Lanier drifted to the point where she landed out of bounds.
Fitzmaurice, 2-time second team All-American. All-America honorable mention as a freshman as well. Now the middle horn denied.
Yeah, it's kind of a token middle attack. They only said horn a few times, and I thought Campbell did a nice job of reading that. She kept her hands high, so she would still be able to get outside if they took it outside, but I doubt they're going to go back to the middle here, and definitely not with that pass.
High ball for Lanier. Great angle on the shot going cross court.
Yeah, there's not much defense for that, and fortunately for McClure, she was low enough where it didn't catch her right in the forehead.
Lanier up to 173 now with 18 kills. And a reminder, she didn't have a kill in the first set, so she has really picked up her game as the match has wore on. McClure over a double.
Got a touch on that one. Middle blocker a little late closing. Definitely an unsung, hero for this team is McClure. She just does so many little things. Watch out for Gates. There she is, getting a piece.
And she gets it back and puts it down.
Yeah, she's hovering at the net. Whenever you're the other team and you're sending it over the net from off the net, and that's a good swing. Takes it and turns it across her body. Doesn't hit straight away.
Gates hitting 500.
Oh, tough serve. Got it right in the gap between Adams and Lanier, and Lanier bailed to go hit. I think she thought Adams would get it, and right as she made Lanier in the right spots, but they just need some contributions in other directions, and they're just not getting it. O's is still hitting negative, and Veska gave him a little bit of a spark in the last set, but really we haven't heard from her much in this set.
It's been a lot of that player right there, Khalil Lanier, who was serving. McClure will give it a go. Oh,
that one never cleared. Yeah, McClure almost made the mistake of reffing before the whistle blew. She was yelling, no, no touch.
Yeah, wipe up a wet spot in the front row.
Well, look for Lanier out of the back row here. They've got row 5, center, middle, front. I would, if they can't, especially if they can't get a good enough pass to get Gross the ball.
You think they're going big?
I think they're going big. Or well, that's why Stanford served Lanier. Try to keep that from happening.
Hence. Well, that's some USC just
to the tournament.
We asked Kevin Hambley, what do you think you need to do to hold on to a top 4 seed? He said we need to win out. You agree with him?
Yeah, I do.
The Bic is blocked.
That's a great move by Gates again. As I've watched Gates more and more this season, I really appreciate what she does as a blocker. She's right in the middle of the court, and she just penetrates with her arms slightly separated. That takes away a lot of angles. It's like a goalie in hockey or soccer coming out of the net. The more you can penetrate, the more angle you take away in the backcourt.
Gates 7 blocks now. That'll get down, finding the floor, Jasmine Gross.
That one got through McClure's arms. I think she was in pretty good position, just got between her hands.
Gross now with 7 kills. The kids in attendance making a lot of noise. The pass by Hens. Gates off 1 foot. And that'll be called a double contact on USC.
Well, Caitlin Keefe came in and gave Plummer a little bit of a breather in the backcourt. So now we've got Catherine Plummer back in there.
McClure serving. 4 points away from their 13th conference victory. 3 points away with the ace from Megan McClure.
Well, look for, again, they're serving Lanier. So look for Lanier to get the ball here out of the back row in this rotation. But there's an example of Stanford's targeting.
Mrs. O's around the triple block and hence couldn't quite get there.
Yeah, and again, Morgan just moved to her right before the ball was about to be hit, and it just made it that much harder for her to move back to her left. If she'd just been stationary, she'd probably had an easier shot at that.
Lothero going to try to get on the service run of a lifetime here.
Game, and they've Jen Greeny's in the running for Coach of the Year, in my opinion.
I would agree with that.
Well, Stanford in row 5. They've got Plummer left. They got Gates, so they can go Gates in front of the setter, or they can go behind. Wouldn't surprise me to see him put her in behind just to open things up maybe for Plummer a little bit, spread the block a little.
Lothero service.
Well, that makes it. Oh, they could have just played that one out.
Veska gets the kill. It's down to 2.
Gray poked that Bass up into the block, and Hintz could have passed that ball. They could have run their offense off of it. I think that she thought that Jenna didn't touch the block, and she had to send it over. Stanford needs a good pass here to get out of this rotation. They haven't had one so far. There's one.
Gates gets the kill.
Well, she's really picked things up this last part of this match. Fitzmaurice really hasn't gotten on track, but Gates has been very, very good offensively.
Gates hitting .429 for the match, with 11 kills and 7 blocks. Now on the bench as Wilson comes in to serve.
We'll see if they stack their hitters over there for SC or whether they try to spread them out. No, they've got them stacked over there. And again, don't be surprised to see Lanier get this ball, depending on the pass.